Are you a deadline fighter or someone who's super organized and prepared and always get their things done before the deadline? Do you struggle to prioritize your tasks? Do you ignore your health and your sleep to get through the deadlines? Well, I think everyone is lazy by nature, but there is a way to always get things done while you enjoy life, and this is what I call productive procrastination. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Venus and I'm a second-year music therapy student in Sydney. Today I will talk about how I always get things done and balance my life as a full-time master degree student, a content creator, musician, and a casual teacher. Specifically, we will cover productivity, time management, procrastination, and how I procrastinate productively to maintain everything on my plate. So let's get started. I get it, everyone's busy. At school or at work, we might only have the energy to tackle each urgent task as they come. It's hard to fulfill our responsibilities, not to mention taking care of ourselves. And here is my little backstory. When I was doing my bachelor degree, I was a deadline fighter. In fact, I thought it was an Asian thing to just leave all the tasks until the last minute. I genuinely did not care what I was studying at that time. I just left all my projects to the last minute, and sometimes that pissed off my groupmates because they needed my part so that they can do theirs. And to be honest, I was like a vampire during those assignment periods. It was not healthy. And 5 years later, I ditched my corporate job and I entered music therapy. When I look back to the days when I prepared for the audition to get into the Master of Creative Music Therapy, I noticed a behavior pattern. During those 3 months of intense preparation, extra lessons, online psychology course, instrument practice on top of a demanding full-time job and a poor mental health, I figured a way to plan my schedule and routine so that I always got things done. And today, as I'm working towards bigger goals, I use the same method to maintain my health and my skills on top of increased responsibilities and workload. So here are my 3 rules that I actively employ in my everyday life when it comes to being more productive in a mindful manner. So the first lesson here is less is more. If you're not new to this productivity world, you would have heard of the 80-20 rule or the Parkinson's law. But even before you start applying these rules, there is one thing that lays the foundation of productivity. Less is more. Productivity is about saying no to irrelevant things so that you have your time and energy to focus on things that truly matter to you. And the application here is that try not to have more than 3 tasks every single day. And why is that? Because your time and energy is limited. You only have that much to spend, so you want to work on the things that really move the needle and matter, right? Your attention and performance will drop if you have more than 3 tasks that you can't really focus on doing anything well. And you must have experienced this. If you operate on a to-do list more than a calendar, then you will notice it's so easy to keep adding things to that list because it's frictionless, right? You just pull up the list and keep writing things down that you have to do without thinking really that is it urgent or important. Then at the end of the day, when you look through your list, it's just never ending because you keep adding tasks onto it. So how can that be productive? You would just beat yourself up for not doing more things. And that is not good for your brain as well because you're sending a signal to yourself that, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't complete more tasks. But as Tim Ferriss said, being busy is a form of laziness because you're not really thinking about those tasks if they are actually helpful or not. So yeah, if you operate on a to-do list, think twice about what you're doing, and maybe using a calendar is a more productive way because you're just time blocking. And I personally prefer time blocking than a to-do list because that forces you to look at how you spend your time, and then you will just direct your energy towards the things that really matter. And then you can just eliminate or delegate all the other tasks. So less is more. This is a simple exercise that I do every single day to have not more than 3 tasks for the day. And I sometimes do this exercise the night before to just write down the 3 tasks that I will complete, then I can call it a day. So when I wake up, I have intention. I know what I'm doing and I will just get off bed and do the work. And the second lesson here is the secret to my productive procrastination. So this is something that I realized not many people talk about, but I will try to break this down. And I think that it's important to differentiate the nature of your task. Let me explain. I think there is a difference between things that you have to actively maintain without a certain deadline and things that you have to achieve by a certain date. Here's an example of my current life. So here are the things that I have to maintain. There are no deadlines and I usually won't see results immediately. That would include maintaining my physical and mental health, learning a new language, and practicing my instruments. And on the other hand, there are things with certain deadlines that would include my assignments and placement, content creation, and all my sessions with my clients, whether it be coaching or instrument teaching. And this is where productive procrastination comes in. So the idea is that you will prioritize the tasks that have certain deadlines, but you squeeze in the things that you have to maintain during your rest period. I will give you an example. So this is my current life. I have a 5,000 research proposal to write that is due in mid-October, and I have other things to maintain and work as well. So my typical work from home day will look like this. Between 9:30 to 11, I will have my first batch of work, like a deep work. I will try to eliminate all my distractions and just work on my research proposal. And after 11, I will take a break. So during 11 to 11:15, you have your break. But at that time, I am not scrolling social media. I usually would just go to the balcony, look around, or just get myself another cup of coffee, refill my water bottle and whatnot. And also to play guitar for a while. Usually I would just pick any song that I like singing and then just play on the guitar until 11:15. That's my break. It's actually quite relaxing because I like singing. And then I will have another batch of work and then have lunch, and then between 1 to 3 I will have a third batch of work, and then I will spend 30 minutes doing my home workout because I'm in lockdown. So this is what I mean. You have prioritized your tasks with a certain deadlines, but between the rest periods you want to squeeze in things or healthy habits, if you will, to your rest period. And the key here is that you want to make those activities without a deadline more enjoyable and make them a routine basically, so that you would look forward to the rest. And throughout the whole day, I will be like unconsciously practicing guitar, piano, and my handpan for like more than 30 minutes because I squeezed the time in between the rest period of my real task of writing my research proposal. And this whole idea of having like a productive rest is linked to active recovery. So in exercising, active recovery refers to some low intensity exercise that someone performs after a high intensity exercise to improve their recovery and performance. And in productivity, it means that you are doing stuff that you enjoy doing after some deep work or heavy lifting work, but in a healthy manner. Just like working out, making music, something that's enjoyable to you and it makes you get into a flow state basically. So these kind of activities should ideally also boost your momentum, improve your mood, and give you more energy. Yes, productive procrastination is just a fancy way of saying that you know what your priorities are, but you're also maintaining the things that are important to you. And there are some tips here that I found out over the years, is that the things you have to maintain are your non-negotiables. For example, we all know that health is the foundation of everything, so you cannot ignore that no matter how busy you are. You will always find time for it if you care enough. If you have 15 minutes to scroll your Instagram or Twitter, then you have 15 minutes to do a HIIT exercise. These tasks are a long game, and consistency is key. And the only way to be consistent is to take baby steps. For example, throwing in a quick 10-minute piano practice during your rest period will give you more result instead of practicing for 1 hour per fortnight. And another tip on time management is that you want to work smarter, not harder. Make sure you are focused. You want to cultivate more flow states. You want to eliminate distractions. If you want to, you can turn on airplane mode, disable notifications, or go to your favorite cafe, etc. Just whatever you need to do to get you into the right state of mind. And you also want to be smarter in your active recovery because you're supposed to rest and refresh your mind during your break and not to squeeze in more information that you don't need. And the third thing in this kind of productive procrastination thing that is, I ask myself, how do I implement a system so that I don't need to do it again? Like I've mentioned, there are things that you have to actively maintain without certain deadlines that requires you to be present physically and mentally. But there are other tasks, and I want you to ask yourself, are there any recurring tasks that are time consuming? For example, invoicing your clients, manually scheduling meetings, etc. Because you want to eventually batch those tasks in one go, just like washing your dishes or doing your laundry. You won't just wash one piece of your clothing or just wash one dish, right? You would do the whole thing together. And that applies to productivity as well. So ask yourself often, how do I implement a system so that I don't need to do it again? For example, I'm batch filming all my videos now. I won't go through 15 minutes to set up my camera or my microphone just to film one video, right? I'll just do everything together in one go. And also, spending some time to set up automation is so worth it. Your brain is wired to be creative, not to work on mundane, tedious tasks. So this is how you can have it all, juggling between all your responsibilities. It's about working smart and enjoying life at the same time. No one says you can't have fun while you're hustling. And I hope you get inspired by my productive procrastination. Give it a try and let me know how you go. And don't forget, always prioritize your physical and mental health. If you are feeling stressed or overwhelmed by everything going on around you right now, it might be a sign to pause and reflect on your life. Give yourself space. I often recharge through meditation, and this is what you can try as well. I have recently launched my first product. I've incorporated all the techniques I learned in therapy into my handpan guided meditation soundtracks. I just launched it last week. Brand new tracks. I won't ask you to sit still and think of nothing. In fact, it's gonna be an exciting journey, and I'm now inviting you to join me. You are building your own sanctuary, which means this is your private safe space, where you can de-stress, reflect, and reset. Check out the link in the description box below, where you can preview what the 5 soundtracks are like. Make the last quarter of your 2021 your best year yet. You still have time. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.